and welcome to episode 2 of Snack Break, the perfect podcast pop on while preparing your cup of tea or ideal snack or beverage. I'm Ben Blue. I hope you're doing well wherever it is you've taken a moment to tune into the show. The difficult second episode is now upon us though, and in a chance to combat what you may call our first normal show, because as you'd expect, the first one was somewhat chaotic, we've jam-packed this one full of amazing stuff. Coming up today, we've got another edition of the brand new Pop Culture News. We'll be debuting Bendigo's podcast perusings, and we'll be announcing our first guest on the show. Also, we'll be discussing the best Minecraft SMPs that you need to be watching on YouTube and Twitch right now. So please, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. First though, it's time for a little admission, you could say, because it's not something I actively mentioned in the show itself last week, but I did name the first episode of my brand new podcast that I've admittedly put a lot of work into. I was really excited about and dedicated to making it sound as good as I could, and I admittedly named it after Taylor Swift's new album. And I'm not, don't come for me, Taylor Swift fans. Please don't attack. No, please don't attack me. This isn't me having a go at Taylor Swift's music. Taylor Swift's music is very good, and in no way am I any more of an artist than Taylor Swift, because what I'm making certainly isn't impressive, and what Taylor Swift makes certainly is impressive. However, I'm not really a Taylor Swift fan, and I decided to name my first episode after a Taylor Swift album. However, you could say it made sense. We're talking about Taylor Swift Tortured Poets Department, still getting the name around my head. In the first episode of Bendigo's Musical Musings, we had it on the thumbnail, or we had Taylor Swift on the thumbnail. You could technically reason with it. However, something you couldn't reason with was even the idea that because the Tortured Poets Department is a double album, I considered naming episode 2 also in some sort of Taylor Swift reference. Thankfully, though, for you and for me, I don't know that much about Taylor Swift. So, panic averted, everybody. It's okay. It's okay. I haven't done it. But we nearly turned into a Taylor Swift podcast there. We nearly confused everyone. And now with that awkward echo laugh and genuinely really awkward link out of the way, it's time for another edition of Pop Culture News, the most self-explanatory part of the show. We begin with Amazon Prime, which has recently released the trailer for the third season of their hit show, Clarkson's Farm. The show, which follows the ex-Grand Tour host, or soon-to-be ex-Grand Tour host, as he attempts to journey through the elusive world of farming, and is set to return on May 3rd, with the Grand Tour finale and a fourth Clarkson's Farm season already in the works. I am really excited for this. I just absolutely loved the first two Clarkson's Farm series, and it was just great TV, and the comedic aspects, the not so comedic aspects, the educational awareness that the show has brought to the world of farming, combined with just stunning editing from a really nerdy point of view, the wonderful transitions and intros and everything, and camera work. The camera work in the show just never fails to amaze me. So I cannot wait for its return. And thankfully, which is good for me, given that I would just attempt to binge it all in a few nights, they're releasing the first few episodes on May 3rd and the final few episodes on May 10th. So we are going to have to wait a little bit between. Just double check. I'm not entirely sure it's May 10th, but they're doing it in 2 batches, which is good for me. The trailer released for Transformers 1, an animated prequel from Paramount Pictures that will follow Optimus Prime, Chris Hemsworth, and Megatron, Brian Tyree Henry, as they go from brothers in arms to sworn enemies. It releases this September. I have to admit, having watched the trailer for this, I was somewhat disappointed. I'd heard about this film quite a while ago, and being a fan not only of animated movies, but animated movies that do something big and are also blockbuster films, cough cough, across the Spider-Verse, I was very excited for this. However, I'm not a massive Transformers fan. In fact, admittedly, I don't know if I've watched any Transformers movies. Yep, I know. Please don't be angry. But I was really excited for this, and I have to say, something about the trailer just didn't hit with me. So hopefully, I'll still watch it, and I'm happy to give it the benefit of the doubt, but maybe they just showed too much too soon. I really felt that a 3-minute trailer was far too long for this film, especially given that I was already somewhat suspicious of how much I would enjoy it within a minute of watching the trailer. But hey, it could be really good. That's only my opinion. It's totally up to you if you go see it. I know it will definitely be some people's cup of tea. And it's done really well with screening audiences, apparently. Ep.2 have unveiled a brand new series of upcoming figures, pin badges, and plushies, with notable new entries from internet legends such as Jax Sucks at Life, Minecraft itself, and Stampy Cat. The latter debuted his first figure last summer to great success and has prompted a brand new lineup of figures and plushies surrounding his now retired Lovely World series. I have to say, although I am yet to sort of hand over my cash for any U2s myself, I'm a massive collector of Funko Pops. I can see loads of Funko Pops from where I'm sitting right now. And the U2s figures really are, they're so good looking. They're just great little figures. And if I had all the money in the world, I would be buying them all. Sadly, I don't. So, as I mentioned, I will probably just be looking at these online. But I'm going to say it now. They're not on sale yet, but I predicted it. I didn't tell anybody, but I predicted it. Went down to the YouTube website like 2 months ago. Scrolled down to the coming soon, and noticed that classic Stampy in space silhouette. Unfortunately, Reddit did get to it first, but hey, I'm proud of myself. Though I certainly didn't see the pin badge and plushies coming, so that's very, very cool indeed. Also, the Minecraft ones looks both the Jack Sucks Life and Minecraft one look really, really nice. Minecraft, I particularly want to focus on, given that they had their original drop. I think it was Dog, Ender Dragon, and something else this November, and there's been a really quick turnaround actually to get brand new figures out. They're already selling at the moment, whereas the Stampy ones, I think it's a week at least until you can buy them, and then obviously it takes a while for them to ship. But it's a somewhat eclectic selection for the Minecraft ones, as they've chosen the Warden, obviously a very new addition to the game. The Bee, still relatively new when you consider that for the originals they were just going for classics, and a stack of chickens in a pen. I mean, I didn't know that stacks of chickens were so closely affiliated with Minecraft, and yes, they are Minecraft chickens, but does anybody know what this is? Are stacks of chickens in Minecraft a big thing? I don't know. The Kickstarter for the upcoming Adventure Time, the role-playing game, has been revealed. The game, which is based upon fellow tabletop classics such as Dungeons & Dragons, can be pledged in several editions, with some costing up to $400. It is for that reason that, again, I will not be buying this one. I saw the Card Wars game, saw it was expensive, said, yeah, no, not for me right now, but I will definitely go for the role-playing game. Lo and behold, the cheapest edition that you can pledge the role-playing game is $50, so I'm afraid not on my part. But I love Adventure Time, I love role-playing games, and I envy the people who get to play this. It looks really, really cool. And now, that's you, up to date with pop culture news. Well, we promised it, so we had to deliver. Following our first, somewhat chaotic edition of Bendigo's Musical Musings, it's now time to debut its sister feature, Bendigo's Podcast Perusings. This is the part of the show where we not only use the echo fader again, but where we dive into the page of Spotify, other podcasting platforms of course are available, and try to sift out some golden nuggets in the sea of content. And if we're ever going to talk about golden nuggets of content, honestly, today's podcast is certainly one of those. What is it, you ask? Well, The Enthusiasm Project is a long-running podcast series hosted by hit YouTube tech reviewer Tom Buck. The show follows Buck as he explores the weird world of YouTube and beyond, all while accompanied by some of the biggest new technological releases. Honestly, he has a brand new mic every week, and I'm indescribably jealous. As the title suggests, Buck's enthusiasm for the show shines through every single episode, with him even admitting in a video that he's never made a single penny from its hefty 11 series. Nonetheless, though, it's gathered a hardcore audience, with several new series dropping every year to a delighted collective of online creators and casual listeners alike. This is a show that I've really only discovered in the last couple of months, just towards the end of 2023. Tom Buck, who, as I mentioned, is generally a podcast and stream focused tech reviewer who I've watched for quite a while now, and his review videos, which are, I think, areas of YouTube that they don't always do, but they can get quite stale, and you could make it incredibly boring. But Tom Buck just has so much energy and enthusiasm and personality that just makes every single one of his videos something you have to watch, whether or not you're interested in buying the mic or mixer or whatever. And that is certainly true of his podcast. I've got up on Spotify here, and some of his recent topics include NAB 2024, quitting his job as a teacher to become a content creator, Q&As, often technology related. So if you want something, if you're having issues and you want a microphone, you don't know why your gain's not working, he's the guy for you. Building his perfect studio, staying authentic in the age of AI, the art of scripting versus improvisation on YouTube. As you can tell, this clearly isn't scripted, and it really is just such a wonderful, as the title suggests, enthusiastic show. So, if you're going to check out a podcast, but you have a little bit of time on your hands this week, I would urge you to go listen to at least one episode of the Enthusiasm Project, because it really will be worth your time. And whether or not you stick around for the ride, I think you'll leave feeling in a better mood. That's this week's Bendigo's podcast perusings. It's time now to talk about something that I absolutely love. And for any of you who have watched my gaming channel, it is no secret that I absolutely love these. I am, of course, referring to Minecraft SMPs, the good old survival multiplayer series that have dominated YouTube for so many years at this point. However, in an ever-expanding sea of SMPs, that rhymes, I didn't expect it to, it can be very easy to get lost. So today, we're going to give you a guide to some of the biggest and most interesting SMPs out there at the moment. And we begin with one you've probably heard of, Lifesteal SMP. One of the many SMPs to rise to fame over the pandemic, it remains strong as one of YouTube's most popular servers, with the antics of warring players on this unique plugin still thrilling viewers to this day. Despite the recent exits of players such as Rekrat, Parents, and many more, Vitality, there's quite a few that have left. Events such as the God Election, which featured Captain Sparkles, and the Void, as well as the addition of new players, keeps the server fresh and exciting. Also, on that mention of the addition of new players, they open applications to small creators nearly every season, which is something that actually I say something a lot of servers wouldn't do. It's something that the server below this has done as well. But it just shows they're all pretty young players. I think most of them are roughly 18, some a bit younger, some a bit older, and it's something that a lot of servers really wouldn't consider doing, and it's that uniqueness that I think shines through Lifesteal as a whole. And even though it has become so popular and become mirrored in so many ways, they've even launched a public server, which I made the mistake of playing on with one of my friends. Keep an eye out for that coming on the gaming channel soon. And it just continues, as I mentioned, to be fresh and exciting. So that's Lifesteal SMP. We move now onto another server. The brainchild of former Dream SMP member Quackity, the Q SMP has been growing strongly for over a year now, with creators from across the world uniting for a multilingual server with continuing story arcs largely centered around the mystery of Quesadilla Island, as well as the server's beloved and often missing eggs. Although largely streamed on Twitch, fan accounts and the Q SMP info channel are great places to follow the server's latest goings-ons. And Quackity Studios never fail to amaze me with this one. There's such a wide plethora of events and players and story arcs, so much going on. This lore is amazing, and the budget just seems to be I don't know what the budget is, but it seems to be never ending. They have full sort of 8-minute animated short commissioned at the start of this year, which along with a whole new island. So it really is amazing. If you haven't heard of it, you've probably been living under a rock. And if you don't know about it, you should definitely go check it out. At least give it a try. SDMP, the latest server to hit the block, the sleep-deprived SMP, based on the podcast of the same name. Honestly, I feel like the sleep-deprived SMP at the moment. Oh, I'm so tired. Sees over 40 creators, ranging from J-Slap to Captain Sparkles again, play on the server together. It's definitely not family-friendly, but fun if you don't mind some inappropriate stuff. And it wouldn't be a YouTube SMP recap, and especially not a YouTube SMP recap, because this is admittedly my favorite one, without Hermitcraft. Now over a decade old, Hermitcraft has recently entered its 10th season, with daily content releasing from its many, many members. If you're into building, family-friendly collaboration, and the occasional bit of lore, this is definitely the server for you. I mean, how Hermitcraft just is amazing. How can I put it? I just love it. I sort of pop in and out of it. I'm currently watching at the moment Smaller Beans and Skizzleman. Last season I largely watched Good Times with Scar and Grian, and I try to just sort of look around wherever I can. They've done a lot of amazing charity work recently as well. So Hermitcraft, whatever you're into, I'm sure there's a member there for you, so definitely worth checking out. And last but certainly not least, Minecraft SOS. Similarly to Hermitcraft, this SMP is made up of a classic group of Minecraft creators, many of whom were previously featured in Season 1 and Season 2 of Empire's SMP, which actually crossed over with Hermitcraft last season. The server, which is reportedly going to last around 4 months, sees players in a hardcore world in which they can be resurrected with the use of Fate Coins. It's got creators such as Smallish Beans, LD Shadow Lady, Mog Swamp, and many more. So, I'm having a lot of fun watching that one at the moment. It's fun just watch something a little bit different, knowing it's on a small, sort of a shorter scale. And I'd particularly recommend LD Shadow Lady's editions because they're just great quarter of an hour. If you maybe need something to watch quickly in the morning, quarter of an hour long episodes, really, really fun. Also, the Orion Sound is doing amazing live streams and videos on that server that are just so quirky as usual, which I absolutely love. So, Minecraft SOS. There are, of course, so many Minecraft servers I couldn't mention to ASMP. Afterlife SMP is about to go into its 5th season. Retrap has just started No Armor SMP, which looks really, really cool. So I suppose you could say, oh, the Duck SMP, certainly Laz is on that. And along with loads of other creators. So there's so many servers out there, and I'd recommend you checking out any of these. Again, SDMP isn't really appropriate for some ages, so just be aware of that. But so many amazing servers, big and small. So just, if you want something a little bit different to watch on YouTube, maybe check some of those out, or try and find a smaller SMP, like the Roleplay Realm SMP, which I'm on, that suits you. This is normally where I would wrap up the show, teasing what's going to come next week. And while I still will do that, next week's episode isn't quite like this one or the one prior. You see, next week's episode, episode 3 of Snack Break Podcast, is going to be our first ever interview special. Still bite-sized 20-minute long episode, but with not just me, you'll be glad to hear, behind the microphone. So, not going to tease you anymore. Without further ado, we have a voice note from Snack Break's first ever guest.
Yeah, I'd be happy to show up to be on Snap Break. I'm Smart Man. I'm really cool and relatable and popular. I make really cool and relatable Hearts of Iron 4 videos and other Paradox title videos. And we're now spicy it up by going to other games. I'm sure my viewers would love to see me. As you know, I'm very cool and popular. They all love me.
Yes, that's right. On next week's episode, Smartman will be our first ever guest star. But for now, I need to wrap this episode up because we're not allowed to be over 20 minutes long. I've been Ben Blue. This has been a Hermitcraft production. The Snack Break Podcast channel is part of a Team Blaze collection of channels. See you soon, stay safe.